The pressure is building on Xi Jinping. Could this be the year everything falls apart? Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. It's 2024. We've made it past the movie sci-fi years and into the movie apocalypse years. And this year could be a major turning point for China. The massive economic rebound that was supposed to happen after China lifted its zero COVID policy last year did not happen. Instead, China's real estate sector continued its death spiral. Youth unemployment skyrocketed, while foreign investment and exports plummeted. On top of that, political pressure is mounting on Chinese leader Xi Jinping as rumors of purges and assassinations mar his credibility. 2024 could be the year China faces a black swan event, a term that describes a rare and unpredictable event that have a major impact. Think Tiananmen Square massacre. Or there could be a gray rhino. Those are highly probable catastrophes that are ignored until they become an immediate threat. That's essentially the real estate crisis. People saw that coming a mile away. And black swan and gray rhino events should tell you political scientists are really just kids deep down that wanted to go to the zoo but were forced to stay at home and study by their parents. Now, keep watching to the end because I'm going to get into some wild predictions about what might happen in China in 2024. But first, there are 3 trends to keep an eye on. Pay attention so you know what's going on when these start to happen this year. As a variety of crises come to a head, the CCP will exert even greater control over society. But this will ultimately serve to undermine the party's and Xi's legitimacy. Foreign investors will continue to leave China in droves as they see increasing regulatory crackdowns presenting a worse and worse return on investment. And finally, communism and socialism globally will go into decline as traditionalism and nationalism become ascendant, sparking a variety of social unrest around the world. That's one reason why I'm worried about China Uncensored in 2024. I suspect YouTube could begin a major crackdown that could see mass demonetization, or even deleting our videos or channel. That's why I need your support. Join what I call the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army on Patreon, over at patreon.com/China Uncensored. Link is in the description below. All it takes is $1 an episode. You can set a monthly limit, and not only will you be giving us the funding we need to pay our staff and keep the lights on, but I directly embed episodes on Patreon. So even if YouTube takes it down, you can still watch on Patreon. Again, China Uncensored would not exist without your support. So now, on to my predictions for China in 2024, right after this hopefully undemonetized commercial break. Welcome back. So what does 2024 hold for China? Let's get into it. Starting with politics. I'm expecting to see a lot more attacks on Xi Jinping, both from opponents within China and abroad. This will most likely take the form of rumors revolving around Xi being unstable, invading Taiwan, assassinations, and purges. These rumors will even make their way into Western media coverage of China, like this Politico article from 2023 about Xi going full Stalin. I covered that article in this episode. I'll put a link to that below. By the way, that episode was demonetized by YouTube. Xi Jinping will respond to this by continuing what he calls self-revolution, which is very much like Mao's continuous revolution. Basically, expect to see a lot more purges, Xi going after the financial sector and taking greater personal control over it. Which brings me to the economy. The CCP will attempt to rein in the ongoing economic crisis, but deflation will be hard to stop. The real estate crisis will continue to get worse and affect other economic sectors. The problems of $23 trillion of debt in local government will come to the front. Already there's not enough money to pay workers. That's only going to get worse. And as the economy gets worse, foreign investors will continue to pull out of China, making China's economic woes even worse. Now onto the military front. There's a lot of concern that the CCP will launch an invasion of Taiwan as a distraction from all its other problems. While not impossible, I think it's highly unlikely. The CCP is looking to avoid a war and is working on increasing military-to-military communication with the US. To put on a show of strength, though, the CCP will continue small-scale aggression, like flying jets near Taiwan, and harassing neighbors, particularly the Philippines and the South China Sea. We might also see more border skirmishes with India. As for Taiwan, likely William Lai will be elected president of Taiwan and take a tougher approach to China, in both words and actions. We'll probably also see greater calls in the U.S. from politicians, academics, commentators, etc., to formally recognize Taiwan as an independent nation. The CCP won't like any of this and will continue to use its military to intimidate Taiwan, but an invasion is highly unlikely. What will be really interesting to watch is how all this will affect Chinese society. Keep in mind, we have no idea what the true death toll of COVID was in China. And now a new disease is spreading rapidly throughout China. The CCP won't go back to a zero-COVID style policy, though. That was too damaging to the economy. But dissatisfaction with the CCP and a resentment about the party's inability to deliver on promises of prosperity will further destabilize and delegitimize the party's rule. The CCP will respond with more authoritarian measures in an attempt to control dissent, which will only make things worse. What would be really interesting is if this inspires some local governments or even some local military garrisons to start acting independently. We could start to see the seeds of what might be a post-CCP China taking shape. Now there's a video I want to show you, but first, it's time to show love to the people who make this show possible, the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, fans who support the show on patreon.com/China Uncensored. As my way of thanks, I answer their questions at the end of these episodes. And today's question comes from Martin Sebusek. It seems like a good idea. What's wrong with protecting children by limiting their gaming addiction? Well, that's a bit awkward of a question since I have a new gaming channel, Gamers Unbeaten. But Martin is responding to this recent episode about China's latest video game ban. And now, personally, I do think gaming addiction is a very real, very serious problem. It's so much easier to check out of life and all its problems and escape into a world of games. And especially for young people, video games can be a lot more fun than schoolwork or the awkward social interactions of high school. But those are the things you actually need to go somewhere in life. So is it good the CCP is limiting kids' access to games to just 3 hours a week? No. And here's why. First, I suspect the CCP doesn't actually have the good of the children in mind. It's most likely they're trying to prevent Chinese gamers from having interactions with people overseas, who might say things like Tiananmen Square 1989 or Taiwan is a country. But more importantly, it's not the government's job to raise kids, it's the parents' job. Even if you agree video games are bad for kids, that's a decision for parents to make, not the state. This is just part of the CCP trying to control every aspect of people's lives. Thanks for your question and your support, Martin. And now, a push for my gaming channel. In my ongoing attempts to talk about controversial topics YouTube would otherwise censor by hiding them in game content, click on this video about Warhammer and why people who think they're the good guys are often the bad guys. Click on that orange button to support us on Patreon. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.